Hey, 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 welcome back to Is This Too Much podcast. I am Allie T, also known as Allie D, and I just want to thank you for joining me. Listen, I am still in the vein of walking in obedience. If you saw my last video last week, then you would know what kind of where I'm at. A lot has been going on, and I'm just trying to walk in obedience to God and what He has for me. So, we're going to kind of dive in a little bit more today in the obedience realm. So, let's go ahead and get into it, guys. All right. So, um, if you don't know, I'm kind of going through a lot right now. And again, I kind of mentioned a lot of it in my last couple of videos. Even the one where I was saying that I just pressed record randomly and I was just talking about quite a few things that I've been through in the last year. It's been rough. Um, but I'm back and I'm ready. I want to adjust this microphone. Let's see. I felt like it was a little too far from my face, but I'm back and I'm ready. And I really want to get into what God has been dealing with me with because, to be honest, y'all, and I said this in my last episode, I did not want to do this. I want to go work in corporate America. I want to get a job. I want to be able to make money. But God has me in a season of trusting Him right now. If you watch my last video, I was talking about my frog journey. Frog means fully rely on God. And that is where He has me right now. I'm sure that's where He has a lot of people right now. I was looking at the statistics the other day, and it seems that there's over 300,000 Black women just in America alone who are jobless right now, who are unemployed, whether it be from layoff, quitting, getting fired, whatever the case, over 300,000, and that's just women. And that's just Black women. So imagine other races, other cultures, males, who are currently not working right now. So I was looking at like, God, what do you want me to do? Like, how do you want me to survive? And He gave me a dream that I needed to start back my podcast back up. I don't know if that's just so He can see my act of obedience or if that's where He's going to actually fund me. I'm not sure, but I've been doing what I'm supposed to do as, a steward. I haven't been the best steward with money, but with the money that He has blessed me with, I make sure I tithe. I make sure I give an offering. I make sure that all my bills are paid. So I thank God for that. Like every bill is paid. But it would be nice to have a little extra to be able to sustain for the month. Because once my bill is paid, y'all, I literally have like $6 to my name to last me for the whole month. So I'd be like, God, gas, groceries, feeding these kids, like something got to give. But He said he's requiring for me to trust Him, and that's what I'm going to do in this season. I don't want to play ring around the rosy. I don't want to be back in this valley anymore. So if that's what He wants me to do, that's what I'm going to do. If obedience is what He's trying to work on me on, that is what I'm going to do. And so I was reading in Luke chapter 17 about the 10 lepers, y'all. And the story really blessed me because it speaks a lot of what I'm going through right now. I've been going through depression since February. It is September now, which is my birthday month, y'all. It is almost my birthday. I'll be 36 this year. Hey. And it's kind of bittersweet because, yes, I'm excited about a new year, but I'm also like, I don't really have any money to do anything. So it's kind of like, I guess it'll be me and God for my birthday. And you know what? That's perfectly fine because I've had birthdays where I've been out the country. I've had birthdays where I've just sat at home. I remember one year I ate Cheez-Its and in my underwear and watched. I didn't have cable in my very first apartment. So I remember just sitting there eating Cheez-Its, and I was just blessed to be alive and blessed that most of my bills were taken care of. I didn't have any extra. I didn't have anything to do. I had no one to do it with. Like, I was single. I'm single again, but I was single at the time, just before I got married. And I didn't want to entertain guys that God didn't send. So I sat in my house and I ate Cheez-Its and watched TV. Well, watched DVDs all day on my birthday. And literally 3 months later, I met my husband. So I'm praying this time around. I'm not saying like I'll meet my husband in 3 months or nothing like that. I'm just saying like I'm praying for some type of breakthrough as I'm walking in obedience to God. And so, yes, my birthday is coming up. But long story short, I've been in a very deep, dark place since February. Some things happened back in March of last year with my family, which is now the result of a divorce and a split home. And so I lost a lot, you guys, in the last year. And it didn't hit me. I was living in my hot girl phase right after we split. Okay, now I feel like I need to back it up some. I hope y'all can hear me pretty good, and I hope it's not muffled. But I was living in my hot girl phase. I backslid. That's gonna be another video. I backslid. I was kind of living in the hot girl life. We had just sold our house, so I had money. I was doing the most. I was not being a good steward. So that's probably why I'm in this place now. And that's okay, because that's the consequence that we pay when we're not obedient to God. And so anyway, I went through all of that. And so kind of mid hot girl phase, I started getting very, very depressed. I wasn't out anymore. I kind of stopped going out. I kind of stopped partying. I stopped drinking, stopped messing with guys. And I just went through this deep, dark depression. And about a month or so ago is when God gave me the dream that I need to start back up the podcast, when I was really crying out to him and like, God, what do you want me to do? How do I get out of this place? And he gave me the dream, like I said, probably about a month ago, or maybe a month and a half ago, about starting back up the podcast. And I was like, well, how am I going to do that? How am I going to make a living? This and this. It takes time for these things to build. And literally, I kept hearing obedience. And I told y'all in the last video how I went and applied for jobs. I've heard back from one. I went on an interview and ended up not getting the job. And the other jobs that I applied for, I have not heard back from. But the funny thing is, while I was applying for these jobs, I had this gut feeling that I shouldn't be applying, which is crazy because I need money. But I felt like I shouldn't be applying for them. Let me turn it down a little. And so it was very rough for me. It's been very rough for me. And I'm using current tense. What is the word? Current words. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Present tense. Thank you, Lord. I'm using present tense because, guys, I am still in this. Like, I'm not coming on here giving y'all no, I made it out. I'm still in it. But I want to bring it to you because I know, for one, somebody can be blessed. And then two, this is going to be a journal diary, video diary type of thing for me as God does whatever he's going to do in my life. And I want it to be a testimony, but I don't want it to be the kind of testimony where you feel like you have to wait to the end to give the testimony. I'm doing it as I'm going through the journey. And that's what brought me to Luke 17. He brought me to Luke 17 and he reminded me of the lepers, because if you don't know about the 10 lepers, he healed them as they went. And he kept bringing that scripture to me. He healed them as they went. He healed them as they went. And so I'm going to read a little bit of it and kind of go through the story with y'all and then bring it back to how it pertains to my life. So it's Luke chapter 17. And I'm going to just go from verse 11 to 14. And I'm reading from the CSB version because y'all already know I need something simple that I can understand. Luke 17, 11 through 14. While traveling to Jerusalem, he passed between Samaria and Galilee. As he entered a village, 10 men with leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and raised their voices, saying, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. When he saw them, he told them, go and show yourselves to the priest. And while they were going, they were cleansed. Y'all, this is so good to me. And I didn't understand at first why this particular story, because I'm like, I'm not sick. But in a sense, I kind of am a little bit, because I want to be healed completely of depression. I want to be healed completely of anxiety and all the things. But the reason this stuck out to me so much is because of what he told me to do when it came to this podcast, when it comes to just getting up and doing things to shake myself out of this depression. As the lepers went is when he healed them. And if you don't know anything about leprosy in the Bible, you're considered to be unclean. You're not supposed to be out in society. When you are, you have to yell, unclean, unclean. Your clothes are torn. Your hair is unkempt. Just all the things that you just look a raggedy mess. And for them to be able to go and seek out Jesus for their healing. And when he gave them the instruction, because the instruction was go and see the priest. What was it? Yep. Go show yourselves to the priest. That would mean they would have to leave their home, go out into the town, continue to, declare themselves unclean to be able to get to the priest. That's embarrassing. They could have easily be like, nah, we good. We not even finna, like, we'll just sit here with the boils and with the skin, with our skin sopping and all the things. But they didn't do that. They were obedient. They wanted to be healed so bad that they were obedient to Jesus' command, which was go and show yourself to the priest. And in that time, going to show yourself to the priest was the one, he was not the doctor, but he was the one that would declare if you were clean or unclean. He was more like an inspector. So they would inspect the people with leprosy and declare them, yes, you're clean, or no, you're unclean. You need to stay away from everybody. And so the instruction, he was still following the law by telling them to go and show themselves to the priest. But because of their faith, because they didn't argue with him, they didn't second guess, they didn't, backtrack and be like, I don't know if we should do that. He healed them as they went. As they were on the journey to the priest, he healed them, which was a step of faith within itself. And so for me in my life, that's what I feel like God is telling me to do. And somebody else out there who's watching this, God could be giving you a specific instruction, and he's looking for your obedience to see if you're going to actually move. And as you're moving, as you're taking the steps, he's healing you, he's delivering you, he's funding you, he's whatever it is that you're seeking him to do. Right now, I want healing. I want to be whole. Yes, I need finances. I need a lot of things. But it was when they moved. We all know that faith without works is dead. So it was when they acted in obedience, when they moved in faith, because it had to be in faith, because they were covered in leprosy, which means they shouldn't even be out in society. They didn't argue with him. They didn't question him. They moved on his word, which was go and show yourself to the priest. And because they moved in faith, they were healed as they went. And so I'm just believing that for my life, that as I'm doing this podcast, as I'm being obedient to the things that God has given me to do, because there's other things too that he wants me to do. I'm just focused on this right now. But as I'm going, I'm praying for healing. As I'm going, I'm praying for restoration. As I'm going, I'm praying for finances to be put into my hand. As I'm going, I'm praying that God is going to turn my life completely around as I'm going. And I'm encouraging you today that as you're going, that he will do whatever he said he's going to do in your life, that he will give you a turnaround, that he will work everything together for your good, because his word tells us that he's going to do that. But sometimes it takes our act of obedience, there's that word again, and moving in faith so that we can see his hand move in our life. And like I said in my last video, I'm not looking just for his hand. I want to really, really fully know God's heart. And I really want to be connected, so connected with him that things don't move me anymore. Things shouldn't have moved me to go back out into the world. My situation shouldn't have moved me to go back out there and feel like the world is offering something better than what God can offer me. So that is why I want to act in obedience, because as I'm doing this, God is doing something in me. As I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, God is really showing me more of him. I'm learning more about his character. I'm learning more about his attributes. I'm learning more of him. And that is the most important thing for me right now. God, I want to know you. God, I want to be closer to you. Yes, I desire things, but I really ultimately want the Lord. And that should be our heart's desire. That should be our heart's cry. So when God gives us instruction, it's important for us to just move on it, not question it, not try to figure it all out. Because I'm telling y'all, I've been trying to figure this thing out. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just do what he told me to do. And as I'm going, I'm praying that he'll do his part. Because I feel like I'm not all the way there. I know I'm not all the way there, not feel like. And I really want God to move. And you should too. Like, we really have to act in obedience and step out on faith. And then the other part of this passage of scriptures was the part where only one of the lepers acted, and he was a Samaritan. And y'all know Jews and Samaritans have no dealing with each other. If you remember back in Luke chapter 4 with the woman at the well, John chapter 4 at the woman at the well. But only one came back and thanked him. Only one came back and glorified the Father for the healing that he had received. So this is like my way of glorifying God. I'm not, as he's healing me and as he's doing what he's doing in me, I'm looking to give this back to him, just like Hannah did with Samuel. this baby that he's given me, this podcast and all the other things that he's given me, I'm giving them back to him, because I wouldn't be able to do these things if it were not for God. I would not be able to do anything if it were not for God. None of us would be able to function. It's in him that we live, move, and have our being. And so they only, out of the 10, only one came back and thanked him. Only one came back and gave him reverence and glorified him. I want to be like the one. I don't want to be like the other 9, because even as he came back and gave glory to Jesus, even as he came back and thanked Jesus, Jesus says in verse 19, and he told him, get up, because he was bowing at Jesus' feet and just thanking him and glorifying him. He said, get up and go on your way. Your faith has saved you. I want my faith to be a testament to what God is doing in my life. And I want to encourage you to let your faith be a testament to what God is doing in your life. Come back and say thank you. Don't be like the other 9 lepers. Let's not be like them. Let's be like the one that came back and said, God, I glorify you. God, I lift you up. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you for all that you're going to do. I trust you. I'm giving this thing back to you. And in that way, we glorify him with the things that he's placed in our hands to do. So that's really all I have today, guys. I just want to encourage you to, if God has given you an instruction, if he's given you a plan for something, if he's given you an idea, don't wait and don't feel like you have to wait until you get to a certain place, because sometimes, and you have to pray and seek God if this is what he wants for you to do. Sometimes it's as you move, it's as you go that he does his part. He healed them as they went. So in this moment, I just want to thank God, and I want to thank you all for watching. I pray that you like, subscribe, comment, all the things. I know I'm new to this, but I'm true to this. Trust and believe. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and just be encouraged that he can move on your behalf as you go. So thank you guys again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed day, night, evening, whatever time you're watching this. Peace out.